Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I am an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. Make sure to check in the description notes below the video where you will find links to all of my online shenanigans, including how to get my patterns to knit up for yourself, how to join the Watch Barbara Knit Facebook group, how to support me on Patreon, and how to get my merchandise. And today, since today is the first week of the month, it is Fave 5 Day, which means that links to all of the patterns that I am fixing to talk about in this video will be there if you want to get one of these patterns or check out one of these designers' other designs if what you see appeals to you. And that really is the primary purpose of these Fave 5 videos. What they are is I take a theme and then I select, I browse through mostly Ravelry and pick out my Fave 5 patterns that grab me, that are speaking to me right now. I'm not saying that these are the bestest of all the patterns because there's so many amazing patterns out there, but they're the ones that grab my interest, fit the criteria I'm looking at, or just make me happy for some reason. And in the past couple Fave 5s, I have asked y'all to suggest in the comments what you might want to see in the future. And today I do listen. I actually screenshot each request that pops up and I have it saved in the file. And here is today's. Janine Gunn said that Fave 5 Fingerless Mitts would be interesting. And I agree. I agree so much that I actually did a Fave 5 Fingerless Mitts in 2018, and there will be a link to that in the description notes. But you know what, 2018, 2019, it's like 4 years ago, so they definitely had to have had more Fingerless Mitts patterns come out, or maybe one I didn't catch the first time, or maybe a new designer I hadn't seen. So really, it was a chance for me to look and have some fun looking at new designs, and hopefully there will be a new designer or two here for you to look into. So I have actually 2 monitors set up, and I will be looking over onto this other screen where I have all the details pulled up of the patterns I'm going to talk to you about so that I get them all right. So what we're going to do is we are going to jump into this split screen. I'm going to recenter myself so I'm not like all lopsided, and these first ones are the Hey What's Up. And the way I have these arranged is I decided in looking at Fingerless Mitts to start with what would really be the easiest but still fun looking pattern that I could find, up to and increasing in complexity as we go along. And so these are Hey What's Up by Kat Riddell, and they are knit in worsted weight yarn on a size 7 or 4.5 millimeter needle. You need between 75 and 125 yards, and the sizes available go from 6.5, which is 16.5 centimeters, 6.5 inches in circumference, then 7.5, 8.5, and 9.25. So there's actually 4 sizes in this pattern. And one of the reasons I specifically selected this one is that it is knit flat and then seamed to create your fingerless mitt. And I do not believe it really has a thumb gusset in it. It's just a flat rectangle that you seam up and leave a hole for your thumb to poke out. My hand went behind it. So this one says, the best friends are the ones who, no matter how long it's been, will enthusiastically start every conversation with a hey, what's up? These mitts were designed for such a fun. They needed to be fun, with a ton of different yarns, and quick to knit up. So no matter when an old friend wants to meet, you'll be there with warm hands and a hey, what's up attitude. It says it features an offset rib pattern over the cuff and back of the hand and a stockinette palm. They're knit flat and seamed. It really does not get a whole lot easier than this, but that offset rib on the back brings a little interest, and having the stockinette palm really gives you the a difference between the front and the back. So these are super cute. Almost everybody can get their hands on worsted weight yarn. And you know, I'm gonna guess this is kind of flexible. I'm guessing if you have DK, you would just like make the size up, or you can play with that. They're just super cute, fast, fun, and within reach of pretty much any level, skill level of knitter. So those are the Hey What's Up Mitts by Kat Riddell. And you, again, make sure you go check out her other designs. These next ones, so we are still in a fingerless mitt that is knit flat and then seamed to create your mitt. These are the knitted Netting Fingerless Gloves by 10 hours or less. Now, 10 hours or less is a really super fun designer, and they design both crochet and knit patterns with the idea that any of their patterns can be knit up in 10 hours or less. So they're very fast, very fun projects, lots of amazing things to look at there. And as I said, both crochet and knit. I have selected knit because, you know, that's my focus, but there are some awesome crochet patterns, so definitely check them out. So these are in DK weight and need 2 different needles for this. You need a size 4 and a size 5, which is 3.5 and 3.75 millimeters. It says takes between 90 and 105 yards, 82 to 96 meters, and it's available in a small, a medium, and a large size. And their romance language. So romance language is something that we designers write to describe what is going on and kind of entice you into our pattern. So this says, span the seasons in style with a light and lacy pair of fingerless gloves. Knitted in rows without complicated shaping, these fashionable fancies sport wide paddles of bamboo lace bordered by vertical bands of smooth stockinette. They're neatly finished with an I-cord edge to maintain a hand-hugging shape throughout the day. And since they're sized from small through large, you can knit up a fine-fitting pair for your favorite fashionable youth or adult. I just had to read that because I love all the alliteration that was going on in there. And it says this 10 hours or less premium pattern includes extra large type with extended line spacing for easy reading and special stitch diagram. So these are super cute. I love that it is a transitional piece. So you've got the lace there, almost more decorative than anything else. But I bet if you knit these up in an alpaca yarn, you're still going to get some warmth there. So it'll be a great thing. Keep your wrists warm, just a little bit of warmth in your hands, and be great to have like to carry around with you just in case you get a little bit chilly. Again, these are worked flat and then put together, but there's a little bit more complexity because you do have the lace and you have the I-cord edging, which is great because it's going to provide that stability for the lace, which you need. So those are the knitted Netting Fingerless Gloves. Okay, next we have the Ramble On Mitts. I thought these looked super fun and fast. These are Ramble On Mitts by Day-Crosier. I assume Tangerine Designs. I can totally pronounce tangerine. And these are also knit in worsted weight yarn on a size 6 or size 6 needle, 4.0 millimeter. You need 110 to 150 yards, and it comes in 2 sizes, a lady's size and a men's size. So this has stepped up a little bit in complexity in that these are actually knit in the round. Yeah, they are knit in the round. You're going to start with a ribbing, and then it transitions to having a waffle stitch on the back and a stockinette palm. So they're really cool. She says that the waffle stitch pattern reminds me of a cozy thermal shirt that I wore as a child camping. Perfect for a good ramble. This the designer used Malabrigo Rios for the to knit it up, which fantastic superwash yarn would be wonderful and smooshy and amazing. So again, these are just going to be knits, purls, stockinette, but they're a little bit higher in complexity than the previous 2 because they're knit in the round. And they have a thumb gusset. So what that means is there's going to be a point where you're making increases on either side of the thumb. You're probably going to have to transfer those stitches to waste yarn, and then those will be removed out and you'll go back to knitting in the round again. So it's going to get into giving you a better understanding of how fingerless mitts and gloves and those types of things are constructed. So if you're feeling, if you've finished the other two, you got the flat down, this would be your next step. But there's nothing fancy going on stitch wise here. So it is still definitely in the easy range. And of course, it's worsted weight yarn. You can probably do it amazingly fast. I thought they were super cute. Now let's go to the next one. Ramping it up a little bit. And look at that thumb gusset. That thumb gusset I was talking about. You can see it right here. The beautiful lines that frame the thumb and that increase to give it a really good fit. These are the Cadence Fingerless Mitts by Joanne Klim. And we're still working in the round here, but we're bringing in more complexity. This is a fingering weight yarn, so it's going to mean a little bit more knitting. They have longer cuffs, which is really elegant. They're knit on a US size 1, which is 2.25 millimeters. So this is much smaller. You're going to be knitting a little bit longer, but if it's a fun project, it's great to knit for a little bit longer. This takes between 172 and 273 yards, and it goes from an adult extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. So wide range of sizes, which is why there's that wide range of yardage required. And let's see here. They say the gracefully rhythmic movement of yarn dancing between fingers with the soothing click-clack sound of knitting needles inspired these wonderfully cozy fingerless mitts. A twisted rib cuff hugs the wrist and flows into a pretty mirrored lace and textured pattern that features on the front in contrast with an entirely textured rib pattern on the palm. Again, so they're different, back, front. These mitts are worked in the round from the wrist to the fingers. I just think these are absolutely gorgeous. I gotta admit, in this photograph, it is that gorgeous thumb gusset that sucked me in, but you also have that beautiful, a little bit of seeded ribbing, and then these tiny mirrored lace and how it's offset. I do love asymmetry. This is definitely going to be one where you knit the one mitt and then the other mitt's going to have different instructions, because you can see that lace panel that's going on along, it's on here next to the thumb gusset on this hand. And then the instructions are going to be different because it's in its relation to the thumb gusset is as the designer said, it's mirrored. So these are going to be a little more complex, but absolutely gorgeous. Also, it is possible the color of this sucked me in. So let's see what yarn this is using. This is using Tough Stocking by Dyed by Hands yarn. It's a merino nylon blend. So this is a great application for like a sock yarn. The nylon is going to give it strength and make these very sturdy. But if you have 100% wool, these would totally work like that, because it's not like they're going inside of shoes. But these Cadence Fingerless Mitts, I think, are absolutely lovely. I want them in several different colors. They're so pretty. So the last of the 5, obviously cranked it up another notch. These are the most complex ones I have selected for you. This is Klim by Arella Seaton. Seaton. I'm going to go with Seaton. These again are fingering weight. These are on a needle size 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter. The yardage needed is between 175 and 262, and they come in small, medium, large, extra large. The designer knit this in Sisu by Sandnes, which is a wool nylon blend. Again, gonna get a lot of really good wear out of that. So the Klim, Klim actually apparently is Estonian word for cold. Fingerless Mitts is designed to accompany, apparently there's a matching cowl, and that is super cool. The Fingerless Mitts are knitted in rounds in mosaic. You had to know that it had to be mosaic. I adore mosaic. So while these look super, super fancy, this isn't stranded, and we're still definitely in the realm of a pattern that you don't have to have a really, really high skill level to execute. These 5, I went from very, like, almost a base beginner can do it up to adventurous beginner. I still think an adventurous beginner could do these. So I definitely kept the skill level skewed toward the comforting and easy side. Mosaic is easy to knit, 1 color at a time. The cuff is worked in a faux corrugated rib using just 1 yarn at a time, and you're getting those vertical stripes, which look really cool. And she says if you're experienced at stranded knitting, you can work corrugated rib. I'm not doing that. The width and length can be easily adjusted, working more or fewer repeats motifs. The pattern uses metric and imperial systems. The mosaic pattern is fully charted, including the gusset, which that's just absolutely amazing. And she appears to have used 3 colors in this. So you've got an off-white, fog, and mustard. So that little, I love, and that's, I think, the thing that grabbed me, those little dot details around the fingers and around the wrist and down at the bottom of the cuff. It's just a beautiful, elegant design. And I think it's also awesome that they have 1 design on the back and 1 design on the palm. That is definitely, and again, these are going to be mirrored, so you're going to have to flip it and I'm sure the instructions include that information. So these are the top end of complexity that I have selected for today's Fave 5, and they're absolutely beautiful. Klim by Arella Seaton. When I do a Fave 5, and I have patterns that fit into the theme, then I have been requested. I didn't used to do this, and somebody's like, you should show us our pattern. So I have a couple patterns, and I can show you those just by going to my website. So here we go. Nope, it's that way. This is my website, and so this is the first set that I think definitely fits in. These are I Can't Control My Fingers, and they are actually designed. You can use either DK or sport weight yarn, and the thing about this is this ribbing. I call it a wobble rib. It is incredibly stretchy, and it's a 4-stitch repeat, so this is super easy to make larger or smaller, and they're they're not mirrored, so you can put either mitt on either hand because it's perfectly reversible and it doesn't matter. So you're only going to be knitting 1 mitt. It is knit in the round, but it's just knits and purls. It does have a thumb gusset. Now you can see in the pictures right here, I don't know if you can see, nope, you can't see my mouse. That's interesting. So there's the option of a long gauntlet and then the hand, or you can start it short and continue knitting at the fingers to have the fold over. And if you had a bunch of yarn, you could do the gauntlet and the fold over if you wanted to. So that is I Can't Control My Fingers, which has a matching hat. And then we have the Spigato Mitts. This is a little bit higher in complexity, but it is a slip stitch color work pattern. So it isn't that far off the track when it comes to needing skill levels. This is fingering weight with super, super, super soft cashmere yarn, but you don't have to use cashmere. I mean, but you can. And this has a thumb gusset, it has charts, and it's a little shorter pair of mitts, and you can see that it has patterning on the thumb, so it has a little bit higher complexity level. But I wanted to show you these as well. These are the Spigato Mitts, and they definitely fit into the theme, and you would not believe how soft they are. So there we go. I hope, Janine, that you enjoyed this Fave 5 and maybe found a fingerless mitt pattern or two that you want to cast on. Again, I encourage y'all to go and click on the links and check out these designers' fingerless mitt patterns and other patterns from these designers. That is really why I make these videos, so that I can introduce y'all to new designers and help these designers get the word out about their beautiful designs. If you have an idea for a future Fave 5, please let me know in the comments. I will definitely screenshot that and save it. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, click that like button. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notification. Thank you so much.